It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Preparing the
Art. What is going on, gamers? I have finally reached 5 months of doing pixel art every day, and I thought it would be a great idea to show off my progress for the past month. So please enjoy all the illustrations I have done and what my plans are going forward. This last 30 days has been very humbling for me. I decided to go from doing only portraits to complete full body illustrations. This has been very challenging for me as I don't have a good understanding of anatomy. But I believe the best way to push past my limits is to try new and challenging things. You can see from some of my earlier works this month, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and the proportions of characters are just all over the place. This is very frustrating for me as I can feel like something is wrong with my pieces. But without the fundamental understanding of the body, I would just leave the piece as is or cover the character with clothing. Like my fearing drawing I did.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on
Day 125. If only you could see the horror that is underneath the clothing I drew.
Good grief, he's naked!
I am also very new at doing art in general and full body illustrations, and I understand that I don't have enough reps yet and need to do a bit more before I become better. Looking back at this month, I realized that after day 134, I had a huge turning point in my drawings. I'd posted this piece of Eris from Musho Tensei with a side view standing in front of a lake at night. Someone had said that this piece looked off, and honestly, I was shocked. I had thought that I was doing amazing and I was on the right track. But when I took a moment to look back on the piece again, I realized that so much was actually off about the piece. Sometimes when I stare at a piece for so long, I tend to lose sight of what looks good and what looks bad, and just think everything is fantastic. It all kind of blurs together. This is a bad habit of mine, as for a long time, my mentality was just to complete a piece every day, no matter what. Even if I think it was mid, I will finish it, post it, and move on. Giving myself little to no breaks when doing a piece, I had skipped an important step of the process of just asking myself if things look correctly, taking the time to step back and view things from a different angle. I started to look at references from famous mangaka artists I like and tried to copy their style to have a better understanding of the body and help make my illustrations look less boring. Since I don't understand the body well enough, my illustrations tend to look a
Iggy, get out of here! He's still alive!
bit dull and lifeless, as it's hard for me to put emotion and life into a piece. Especially emotion, that is one of the hardest parts for me right now in making any pieces. I began to slowly improve and was getting some confidence in myself again, doing bolder and bolder pieces, doing whatever I could think of at the time. I even tried creating my own character and had her go into many funny and interesting situations, putting myself in an uncomfortable situation. Of course, the illustrations were still off, but they were getting better, and I went from having no life in my drawings to adding a decent amount within a few weeks of practice. My next turning point was on day 148. I had thought I made an amazing fan art piece of Makoto from Persona 5, but when I posted it, almost silent. I was shocked again, as I thought that my practice was finally paying off, but I realized that there was a lot wrong with this piece, and her pose was again boring, with very little life, and the proportions were a bit off. This began my second training arc. I began looking into methods such as the flower sack method and being able to draw cubes and cylinders in various angles. You might be wondering why this is even important. I'm doing illustrations, why would I ever need to do any of this? The simple answer is that this has everything to do with illustrations. When I draw a flower sack, it is not really a flower sack. Think of it as a torso doing many different poses, shifting weight in many different ways. Just doing this every day has taught me so much and helped me up my game even more. Drawing cubes and cylinders in different angles is also very important. As I learned more about anatomy, I realized that the body can really be broken up into boxes, for the head and torso especially, while the limbs can be more so broken up into cylinders, but boxes if you like. This has opened up my eyes and helped me so much. Currently, I am on another training arc. I want to have a much better understanding of anatomy and to be able to draw more freely. A current problem I am facing is that I am not able to accurately display the body how I want, so I'm going to be focusing on dividing the body up and drawing them in all sorts of situations, starting with the head. I am then going to work my way down and attach everything together slowly. Something that has really been bothering me is that when I draw my heads or my bodies, I can really only do it in either facing forward in the 3/4 position or completely turned to one side. I want to be able to do all sorts of different things, like having the head tilted upwards and downwards and just being more free in general. I also realized that my hair is a bit off and my shading is very poor. So I'm going to focus on slowly improving these more with line work and starting with simple shading, really understanding where the light is hitting the character. I also am going to try to, instead of filling out the hair completely at the start, drawing lines and figuring out where exactly I want the hair before I fill it in and start editing. Lastly, I had just recently come to the realization that I don't even know what I want my characters to express. And I think this had a very negative effect on my pieces. I'm going to start sitting down and really thinking about what I want to express with my piece, what kind of emotion I want the person viewing the piece to feel before sitting down. Before, most of my characters would have a very neutral looking face that brought upon very little to no emotion. What do they really care about in this scene? What is going on? You don't really know, and I don't really know. So that is something I need to work on. I know I may sound a bit critical and unhappy with myself, but I am so happy that there is so much I can improve upon. At some point in doing art every day, I had actually convinced myself that I was great and I only had to do a bit more to become amazing, one of the best artists. This was very naive of me and caused me to lose my drive for a while, as there was nothing new and interesting to look forward to. I just now realized that I have so much to learn, and I hope you all continue to support and follow me on this journey. Thank you all so much for watching, and have yourself an amazing day.